Hello students, I welcome you all for today's class. I hope everybody are doing good. So before we move on to today's class, we'll have a recap of what we learned in previous class, okay? So first, we looked into the remaining of 7th unit, right? That is computer and introduction. So we looked into the various generations of computers, what are the elements present in computer. We saw the definition of data and information, and then we moved on to what is software and what is hardware, right? So we looked into the various types of software and we saw the parts of hardware. Okay, so today's class is all about revision, students. So we have completed the syllabus for science, so I'll be doing a revision on first chapter, okay, that is measurements. Understood, students? So in today's class, we'll be having a revision on measurements, okay? So first, we'll see the definition of measurement. So what is a measurement? It is the comparison of unknown quantities with some known quantities, okay? So measurement is the comparison of unknown quantity with some known quantity, okay? So measurement is fundamental to the sciences, to engineering, construction, and other technical fields. Okay, so measurement is fundamental to sciences, engineering, construction, and other technical fields. Okay, so the measurement has two parts, which is number and its unit. Okay, so what is a measurement? It is the comparison of unknown quantity with some known quantity. Okay, we have already learned these in the first video, right? So this is just a revision of what we have learned in the previous classes. Okay, students? So next we'll move on to the measuring tools. So there are various measuring tools to use to measure various objects. Okay, so uh, how and which one will you use to measure the below questions? For example, your height, your running time, size of your notebook, amount of water that you drink every day. So your height can be measured using the measuring tape. Okay, so measuring tape is used to measure the length of the distance, whereas the running time can be measured using a stop clock. Okay, so stop clock is used to measure the accurate time of activity, and the size of your notebook can be measured using a meter scale, and the amount of water that you drink every day can be measured using a measuring jar. Okay, so the measuring jar is used to measure the volume of the liquid, and the meter scale is used to measure the length of the object, and balances are used to measure the mass of the object. Okay, so this is all about the various measuring tools. So now we'll move on to the definition of length. So what is length? Length is the distance between one end and the other end. Okay, so the length is measured in meter and it is denoted by small m. Okay, so for larger measurements such as to calculate the distance between two cities, kilometers is used, and for medium measurements such as height of a cupboard or a table, they are measured in meters, and for even smaller measurements they are done in centimeters and millimeters. Understood, students? So the scale or the ruler that you use has measurements in centimeter, and between centimeters you will find a small line which denotes the millimeters. Okay, so what is the length? It is used to calculate the distance between one end and the other end. Okay, so the length is measured in meter and it is denoted by small m. Okay. So now we'll see the meter and the conversion. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter, 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeter, 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeter, and 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. Okay, so we have all seen this in the previous classes. Okay, so this is how you convert 1 centimeter into millimeter. Okay, so when you want to convert centimeter into millimeter, it is 10 millimeter. Okay, that is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter, 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeter, 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeter, and 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Okay, and now we move on to the SI units. So what are SI units? SI unit stands as International System of Units. Okay, so the basic measurements includes the following units, which is the SI unit of length is meter, SI unit of mass is kilogram, SI unit of time is seconds. Okay, so first of all, what is SI unit? So Indians measure the quantities in some units, and Americans measure the same quantities in other units. Chinese people measure with different units. So it will be confusing if an Indian goes to America and tries measuring units there, right? So for such reasons, scientists advised us to follow one single way of measuring units all over the world. Okay, so that single way of measuring units is called as SI units. Okay, so SI unit stands for the International System of Units. Okay, and now we'll see the SI unit, that is multiples and submultiples of SI units. Okay, so multiples means you are going to multiply the value, and submultiples means you are going to divide the value. Okay, so we have already seen this tabulation, right? So this is decimeter, centi, milli, nano, and kilo. Okay, deci, centi, milli, and nano are submultiples. Okay, so that means you are going to divide the value, and kilo is multiples. Okay, that is you will be multiplying the value. So 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeter, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter, 1 meter is equal to 1 followed by 9 zeros nanometer, and 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Okay. And next we saw the methods of measuring length of a curved line, right? So do you all remember? Now we'll move on to mass and weight. So what is mass? It is the measure of amount of matter in an object, and weight is the gravitational pull experienced by the mass. Okay, so the SI unit of mass is kilogram, and it is represented by kg. Okay, so bigger weights are measured in tons or meter ton. Okay. So what are mass? It is the measure of amount of matter in an object, and weight is the gravitational pull experienced by the mass. Okay, so the SI unit of mass is kilogram, and it is represented as kg. And next we'll move on to the balances. Okay, so the first one is beam balance, and it is used to measure mass. So a beam balance works by comparing the mass of an object to that of known mass. Okay. And next is the electronic balance. So electronic balance is a device which is used to find the accurate measurement of weight. Okay, so it is generally seen in laboratories for weighing chemicals, and it is also used to weigh food, grocery items, as well as jewelries. Okay, so these are the pictures of electronic balance which we have already seen. So what is the electronic balance? It is a device used to find the accurate measurement of weight. Okay, whereas beam balance is used to find the exact measurement of mass. Okay, that is, it is used to measure mass. Okay, next we'll move on to time. So clocks are used to measure time. So in those earlier days, people used sand clock and sundial to measure the passage of time. Okay, so since there weren't clocks in those days, so they used a rough measurements of time by using sand clock and sundials. Okay, so in these days we use electronic clocks. Okay, so one can even use a vessel with a small hole for computing time. Okay, so when you take a vessel or a bottle with a small hole in it and you fill it with water. Okay, so the time taken for water to drain can also be used as a measuring device. Okay, so these are all just the rough methods for counting passage of time. Okay, so we also use electronic clock, stopwatch, and other instruments to count even smaller durations of time. Okay, so these are all the pictures of electronic clocks, and these are the pictures of stopwatch. Okay, and next we saw these fast facts, right? So that's it, students. We have done with the revision of first unit. Okay, I have attached the assignments for you. Kindly write it in your notebook, students. Thank you, students.